What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is John and this is John Paul Investing. So in my previous Senseonics videos, I did go over more the technical aspects of Senseonics. I was going to go over the Senseonics submission to the FDA in the form of a press release that they gave to us. I was also going to go over briefly the PROMISE study, which was the study that they actually ended up submitting of around 181 patients, and one testimonial from someone that I ended up finding on the Eversense YouTube channel. It's a really good testimonial. I guess in a sense it's a little biased because it is coming from Eversense, but he does lay out the freedom and flexibility that he gets with using an Eversense over their competition like the Dexcom or the Freestyle Libre. Now, before we got into the video, guys, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button because this way you can get notified when I make videos just like this one, and it helps show your support for the channel. Also, if you want access to the private Discord group where we have active discussions about these stocks in private, or if you would like real-time trade alerts when I buy or sell particular stocks, go ahead and check out the link in the description to the Patreon group. There is a limited number of seats available, guys, so I recommend you guys check it out sooner than later. And last but not least, WeBull is offering up to 4 free stocks if you open an account with them and deposit $100 into the account. Once your funds settle, you will get 4 free stocks, which you can then sell and withdraw the money along with your original $100. Now, that's if you want to do that. Of course, you could invest the money, but my point is, it is totally up to you what you do with the money. So here is the press release that Senseonics submitted. This is for their pre-market application for the 180-day Eversense system to the FDA. So the study that they submitted to the FDA was the PROMISE study, which demonstrated a strong accuracy, performance, and consistent performance with the current Eversense CGM system. So if you go to the clinicaltrials.gov, you can see particular studies done by various companies that they can then submit to the FDA. Now, I will add, I'm not sure exactly if it will be called the Eversense XL because I believe that's what the one in Europe is called. So going down into the study, we can see that they used around 181 participants to conduct this study. This is for diagnostic purposes, and this study started around December 27th, 2018, just over 2 years ago. And it looks like the study took around 15 months or so to finish, pretty much all of 2019 and up until CV19 in 2020. I don't know if that's a coincidence or if it's just that's pretty much all the data they needed, and they wanted to submit this before maybe any changes could have possibly impacted the study due to CV19. This is totally speculation, but of course they say in life there aren't coincidences, so I'm just guessing here. So if you scroll down a little bit more, you will see the eligibility criteria, which for this study was not very strict in terms of criteria for the study itself. You just had to be over 18 years old. You had to have clinically diagnosed diabetes for at least a year or more, and you essentially just have to sign a form that says you consent for the study and the protocol requirements. The exclusion list, however, is vast. I won't go through this entire list, but if you were to pause and read this, you will see just exactly how many things they did not want to include in the study. I think it is with fair reason because I believe any of these things interfering with the study could have possibly made the study a lot less convincing to the FDA. So I think it was in their best interest to leave potential negative variables out of the study, so that way nothing really could impact the study in a negative way for getting it approved for the 180-day version. It was targeting patients that had either type 1 or type 2 diabetes, so it would monitor either or. It goes by the name of the Eversense 180, so I guess the Eversense XL is not at all accurate. This is the Eversense 180, not the Eversense XL. Of course, this is not a drug product. This is a device product that goes into the arm via a implantable device inside the arm with a transmitter that sits outside of the skin on top of the arm. So going back to the press release that we mentioned earlier in the video, the PMA application is supported by clinical data generated from the PROMISE clinical study that we just looked at. The 181 study participants had the Eversense sensor inserted subcutaneously at 8 sites across the United States where the safety and efficacy of the system was evaluated over a 180-day period. Study results demonstrate performance matching that of the current Eversense 90-day product available in the United States, with a mean absolute relative difference, or MARD, of 8.5 to 9.6%. This result was achieved with reduced calibration down to 1 per day, while also doubling the sensor life to 180 days. Research results from the PROMISE clinical study will be presented at future diabetes meetings as well as through scientific publications. So the too lazy, didn't read version of this is basically that they were able to double the lifespan of the sensor while also reducing the number of calibrations needed to keep the device accurate every day throughout the lifespan of the device. The majority of our patients, greater than 70%, use one of the FDA-approved CGM systems for their day-to-day diabetes management. In the PROMISE clinical study, we observed that the implantable sensors provide ease of use and convenience to patients that helps maximize the benefits of using a continuous glucose monitor. We seek to provide patients with cutting-edge, leading technology to help manage their diabetes and are excited about the offering of an implantable continuous glucose monitor that only has to be inserted twice per year to our patients once it is approved by the FDA. Of course, we have not received this approval yet for the Eversense 180, but the variables that they used in the study were pretty limited. Basically healthy adults with diabetes or managed diabetes. If and when it does get approved, it will improve the quality of life with, people with diabetes type 1 or even type 2. If the 180-day Eversense product is approved by the FDA, Senseonics partner Essentia Diabetes Care will initiate sales in the United States. The Eversense XL 180-day CGM system without the reduced calibration scheme is currently available to its patients in Europe. And another piece of crucial information that we found here is that the decision for the approval of the 180-day Eversense system is anticipated during the first half of this year. So if we are going to take that in a literal sense, we are going to look from, January 1st of 2021 up through around June 30th of 2021. And what do we know already about this deal with Essentia? Well, we know that Essentia is expecting some kind of FDA approval on or before August 31st of this year, which is 2 months out from the first half of this year. So it is likely that we could possibly see some FDA approval before June 30th this year.
I was born and raised back east in New Jersey. Came out west to play college football at Northern Arizona University. About 6 years ago, went into the doctor and I had blood work done and everything. And like I said, I used to play sports and stuff, so, I thought I was the epitome of health. I come back home and I get a call and he's like, "You got diabetes." I was like, okay, wow. I didn't go the right path. I kind of went into like a depression state until I had to realize that it wasn't gonna go away. I, accepted it. I'm a crew chief, at the airport on the tarmac. So when I'm at the airport, it's very important that I know where my glucose levels are. And I need to have a CGM that's very accurate and very convenient for my work. That's why I have Eversense. Eversense CGM so far has been the most accurate and it's been the most convenient. I started out with a Dexcom CGM. The major problem was placement. No matter where I put it, I was always bumping it or knocking it. I'm always lifting and having to help out and bags falling and stuff. So once you knock it off, then it's done and you got to put a new one on. I knew I needed it, but it just wasn't working out properly for me. So I kind of went back and forth with it. I had the Libre Freestyle. That really didn't work out at all. That sensor, the first two I put on fell off immediately. So I had to use the sticky stuff just to keep it on, and that was even worse. Having the Eversense CGM, knowing that it's under the skin, gives me really, really good comfort that I'm not gonna lose it or bump it or knock it off or anything. So it relieves a lot of stress from me out there. What I like about the Eversense, it's an on-body vibe alert. Being down on the tarmac is very, very noisy. If I had to use a device that I had to listen for a sound, I wouldn't get the alert at all because I wouldn't be able to hear it. I just feel the vibration and it alerts me and lets me know whether if I'm going high or low. The sensor placement went very well. I felt nothing, no pain, no discomfort. There's no stitches, no sutures, just 2 steri strips and a bandage. I'm on my second one now. I had the removal done, the same thing, and then they put the other one in the other arm. So it switches arms every 90 days. And I'm very happy with the process. And now that I'm in sync with the doctor's office, that puts me at ease also, so they know what's going on if they see anything that's abnormal within my glucose ranges. The endocrinologist can pull up my information prior to my visit. That cuts down on having to hand over different devices and have them go download it and compare it all. I just feel more secure in life in general. The number one thing is the under the skin placement and not having to worry about replacing my CGM for 90 days. Eversense CGM so far has been the most accurate and it's been the most convenient CGM that I've had.
So I will add that diabetes does affect millions of Americans in the United States. So we already know that the addressable market for the Eversense products is absolutely massive just in the United States, let alone the rest of the world. I don't think their exclusive distributing partner, Essentia, would have signed this agreement with Senseonics if they had any doubts of the FDA approval. Now, again, of course, just to protect themselves, but this is, a month or two after they're expecting the FDA approval. So there is some wiggle room in there for the approval to get in much before this August 31st deadline. Now, I am not sure if this is a guaranteed termination of the agreement or if it is just a case that, they have the right to terminate the agreement if it is not approved by August 31st. And then in that case, it is likely that Senseonics will have to scramble and look for another distributing partner. So those are the things that we have to look for. But anyways, guys, that is all I had for this video. If you liked what you're watching, guys, go ahead and hit that like button. And while you're down there, go ahead and hit that big red subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the bell notification to get notified when I make videos just like this one. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.